Okay, for number 1, this is the third root of 8. So the third root of 8 is 2. We don't have to do plus or minus because we're taking an odd root. For number 3, it's the second root of 0, which is just going to be 0. Number 5, the fifth root of negative 32 is going to be negative 2. We don't do plus or minus because it's an odd root that we're taking. Number 7, evaluate without using technology. So 64 to the 1/6 power, we're asking ourselves what number times itself 6 times is going to give us 64. So that's going to be the same as saying the sixth root of 64, which is 2. Number 9, this is the same as saying 25 to the 1/2 raised to the third, or it's the same as saying 25 to the third raised to the 1/2. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, are you slow?
Okay, so out of these two options, which one's going to be easier to do without a calculator? 25 to the 1/2 is going to be easier than doing 25 to the third power. 25 to the 1/2 is just 5, and then 5 to the third is going to be 125. Number 11, we have negative 243 to the 1/5. So we're asking ourselves what number times itself 5 times, because it's the fifth root of negative 243. So it's just going to be 3, which is negative 3 because this is a negative inside here. So negative 3. And then number 13, we can either write as 8 to the negative 2 raised to the 1/3, or we can write as 8 to the 1/3 raised to the negative 2. You can do it either way. If I do 8 to the 1/3, that's just 2. And 2 to the negative 2 is the same as 1 over 2 squared, which is 1/4. Okay, the matching part at the bottom, we're looking for which expression do they match to. So if I rewrite this one, the index is the denominator. So I know this is x to the, or 5 to the 4/3. So this matches as B. This one, the index is the denominator. So this is 5 to the 3/4, which is D. For number 19, this is 1 over 5 to the 1/4. That's not any of my choices. So I have to work backwards. Since this is in the denominator, it means the same thing as if I had a negative exponent. So 5 to the negative 1/4, which is choice A. And then number 20, this is a negative out in front of 5 to the 1/4. So a negative out in front is the same thing as having a negative like that. So this would be choice C. Okay, for the next group of problems, it was 29 through 37. For 29, we would be taking the third root of both sides. When you take the third root, you do not need to do plus and minus, so it's just going to be 5. For 31, we're taking the fifth root of each side because that's an odd root. We don't need to do plus and minus. To move this 10 to the other side, we would be subtracting it. So it would be negative 10 plus the fifth root of 70. And this is a calculator question. So we'd have to plug in negative 10 plus the fifth root of 70, and then equals, and it's negative 7.66. Number 33, I'm taking the fifth root, so the fifth root of negative 48. I know my answer is going to be negative because the inside here is negative. So math 5, fifth root of negative 48, negative 2.17. Number 35, we're going to have to isolate the exponent part first. So I'm going to have to take 36 away from each side. And I get x to the 6th is equal to 64. So then I would take the 6th root of each side. And I'm taking an even root. So I have to do plus and minus. My answer is going to be 2. Number 37, to get the fraction to cancel, I would multiply both sides by 3. So I have x to the 4th equals 81. I'm going to take the 4th root on both sides, and because I'm doing the 4th root, I'm going to need to do the plus and minus. So I'm taking the 4th root of 81. The 4th root of 81 should be 3. So it's plus and minus 3. Right, and those were all the problems for homework.